Secondhand smoke exposure in household pets. So what is secondhand smoke exposure? Secondhand smoke is smoke from burning tobacco products such as cigarettes, cigars, or pipes. It is also smoke that has been exhaled or breathed out by the person smoking. Just so you know, tobacco smoke contains more than 7,000 chemicals, including hundreds that are toxic and about 70 that can cause cancer, according to the CDC. So, some fast facts. Since 1964, roughly 2,500,000 non-smokers have died from health problems caused by exposure to secondhand smoke. And according to the American Lung Association, tobacco smoking causes around 443,000 deaths per year. Secondhand smoke exposure can cause in adults heart disease, lung cancer, and stroke. And in children, it can cause ear infections, asthma, respiratory symptoms, and sudden infant death syndrome. Some information about legislation in the United States and around the world. Smoking has been banned on planes since 1990, and California was the first state to have a statewide ban of smoking in public places. There are currently 28 states that have laws preventing smoking in enclosed public places. And in 2006, the United Kingdom passed the United Kingdom Health Act, which prevented smoking in public places such as restaurants and bars, and it also increased the minimum age that someone needed to be to buy a tobacco product. Right now, over 1.3 billion people around the world are protected by some type of smoking ban. So, what about the pets? In the media, for years, you've seen television and radio ads that have warned of the harmful side effects of secondhand smoke exposure in humans. Ads such as these. A lot of these ads seem to focus on children, pregnant women, your friends, a lot of younger generations. On the globe, it's estimated that over 1 billion people smoke, and around 443 million dogs and cats are being kept as pets worldwide. But the thing nowadays is that a lot of people's pets are their children. People are having less children and getting more animals and considering those their children. So shouldn't there be some emphasis and awareness placed on pets if people are considering their pets their families? What's the difference between a human and an animal? An animal, as you see on the right, still has lungs, it still has a nasal passage, it still has heart, it still has blood vessels, it still has reproductive organs, it still has ears. All the same things that are affected in humans, animals have. So why aren't we making people more aware of the effect of secondhand smoke exposure in pets? So some animal research. In 1998, there was a study on tobacco smoke exposure and risk of cancer in the nasal cavity of dogs. Dogs were exposed to smoke through tracheostomy, and the study concluded that dogs exposed develop rhinitis, basal epithelial cell hyperplasia, and squamous metaplasia, known cancer precursors. In 2007, a study on Yorkshire Terriers with owners that smoked at least 20 cigarettes a day for 2 years was done. It found significant levels of cotinine in dogs' urine, precancerous cells in the lungs, and it also found a dependence for tobacco in the dogs. So what's the problem? I think the problem is a lack of community awareness. Veterinarians and physicians aren't asking the questions, and for years the media has only portrayed the problem in humans. I think it's also a problem of out of sight, out of mind. People are smoking around their pets. They're bringing their pets to places that others are smoking hookah, cigars, cigarettes, and they're forgetting their pet that's on the ground that has lungs, that has a heart that can be affected. Another example of someone, sitting in the car with someone else that smokes. They can let the person know that it's bothering them, give facial expressions, let them know. But let's say Fluffy was in the car too. He wouldn't have any way to let them know. A lot of the times he's probably down lower on the seat. The owner forgets. There's also information published by University of Glasgow about how smoke residue can land on dog's fur and later be, released into the environment. It's also shown that smoke pollutants absorb to surfaces. Over 50% of the daily secondhand smoke exposure occurs during non-smoking periods, and toxic gases are released into the air hours later. So it's just an example of someone smoking. The smoke residue goes onto the floor, and it could also go onto the pets that are close to the ground. So the reality is, if you smoke, the pet smokes. Is it ethical to smoke around a pet that doesn't have a choice? And what's the next step? Community awareness, further research, collaboration between vets, physicians, public health officials, and pet secondhand smoke exposure campaign. Prevent secondhand smoke exposure in pets through incorporating new ads, new television commercials with pets in them as well. If you see something, say something. And also, just don't smoke around your pets. Tell other people not to smoke around their pets and create more awareness, and people will start realizing the effects it can have on pets. Saying, you smoke, I smoke.